Question. If you found proof of infidelity in your marriage today, what would you do in the next 24 hours? Hi, and welcome to Good Talk with Tiffany Santana, where we have good talk with great people who help us live our best lives. Today, I'm talking with Rolando and Sarai Trevino, a couple who watched their marriage walk through infidelity, anxiety, panic attacks, and watched their faith turn it into a powerful global ministry that has over 2 million followers. In this conversation, we discuss what you can do within the first 24 hours after uncovering infidelity in your marriage, how to rebuild trust without turning your marriage into a prison sentence, and how to make your relationship more cheat resistant before a crisis ever hits. Don't forget to download the Good Talk Takeaway Guide in the description so you can walk through these questions and exercises in your own relationship. Thank you for watching this important and powerful episode. So the first question I want to ask you is, if someone just found out about infidelity in their marriage, what would you say they should do within this next 24 hours so that they don't make permanent decisions in a very emotional time?
Mhm. I think you should start by praying. Everything we have to move, decide, or whatever we are facing, the first thing would be to pray because our hearts, uh, they lie to us all the time, right? And we cannot make the permanent decisions based on a hyped emotion. And also, what I would think as a woman too is that I don't want to change or to burn everything God has done in my life for a moment that I couldn't hold myself, right? So there's a Bible verse that speaks that when you're feeling anger, that's normal. God knew that we will feel anger, right? But that we shouldn't act on it. So and then the people leave it at there, no? Like, oh no, because you shouldn't go to sleep and being angry. But when the Bible verse continues, it says that clearly that you don't want to open a door for the enemy, right? So it's not the anger or the hurt that will make a permanent damage, but how you handle it, right? So the first thing you should do is calm yourself down and pray. If you don't know the Lord or it's not something that you normally do, I will still recommend that because that will be a way for us to even our emotions. And after that, in those 24 hours, sit down and do not blame yourself, but face the reality of your relationship. Because many times when that happens, it's not just one sided. It has to do with maybe you were withdrawing sex or you were withdrawing the intimacy. Maybe you were speaking in a certain tone. Maybe you were putting the kids in like between you on bed. So I think you should be really honest about your part in it without blaming yourself. And then with that, like even emotion, have a real talk with the other one, I think.
That's so good.
Superby, do you want to add something?
Go ahead.
Okay. Uh, I would only add exactly the same. Don't do any rash decisions on the first 24 hours. Okay. Evaluate. You need to do an assessment where you're standing. And the reality is 85% of marriages that go through an infidelity, they don't split. They don't
They stay
divorce.
together.
They stay
Wow.
together. But they stay together and they make their lives impossible to one another. At the end of the day, they end up divorcing, but not because of the infidelity.
Mm,
It's because all of the
aftermath.
continuous
Hmm.
reminders, and it's pretty normal that you can have 5-year-old, 10-year-old marriages where the spouse is always remembering what you did to me and how you need to pay it to me.
Hmm.
So The first thing is don't act rashly, and we need to start evaluating because it's going to be a long process if you want to stay.
Yes.
That's so good. It must take a level of maturity to be able to actually calm yourself down because it is so emotional and so personal to be able to calm yourself down and take rational steps once you found out
Mm-hmm.
something like this. So I wanted to start with that first before we actually backtrack into your own personal experience and how you've learned all this. So,
Yeah.
Sarai, if you can tell me what what happened in your relationship and the initial start of finding out that there was infidelity and what happened, what did you do and how did you respond?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a really long story and it's really fun.
We actually just told this story like on Monday.
Yes. We were on my assistant's birthday and we love her so much. So we cooked for her and everything. And there was like a couple there and they said like they couldn't handle that video because when they saw it, like their heart broke because they were thinking that we were perfect. So we said, no, 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 we're not perfect. That's why we show it there, right? So what happened?
She's perfect, I'm not.
No, not perfect.
Good answer.
What happened was no, that 4 days before we officially were dating, he went to Los Cabos with his family. So down there, he slept with another girl, but I didn't know. So a little of context is that I was married before and I had a kid, right? So the his father decided to get a divorce. So I was a single mom when we met, and I didn't go on dates with anyone in that like I wouldn't go out, right? Because I was faced with a big thing by being a single mom. So I took care so much of like my reputation, right? So we spoke about it and he was like I'm all in. So he went to Los Cabos and he slept with her, but I didn't know, right?
Uh-huh.
So then we started 4 days after officially dating. By the 2 months we were in the relationship, he wanted to get married. So he
Like, at the first month, I told her, move to my apartment. She was working
3 jobs.
three jobs. She was making a very little amount of money, and the struggle was real. So at that time, I was earning like three times what she earned, and I told her, "Hey, why don't you move in with me?" But we were like boyfriends, and we were a couple for not over a month. We moved together, and then my good mother, as a Christian, said, "Hey, that's not really nice that you're living in together."
In sin.
Yeah, you're
I
living
didn't
in.
know, by the way.
Yeah, so in order to cool down the waters, I told her, "Hey, no problem. We are going to get married." But I never told Sarai. So at that particular moment, like she starts freaking out and she starts a depression process that lasted over 9 months.
And anxiety
Nice.
attacks.
And
Bad.
anxiety attacks, she would throw up at work because of the pressure and the reality. And I like it the way she says it better, but she was always used to trashy relationships. So Rolando came in. Rolando comes in, and I am a cool guy. I am a working guy. I am dedicated to her. I love her kid. So basically, the flaws I was having that she didn't know at that moment that I had been um,
Unfaithful.
unfaithful,
Or, yeah, untruthful.
untruthful.
Hmm.
But the thing is, when we started living together, something clicked inside of me, and I became the parent Rolando.
A family guy. Yeah.
I became a family guy. I don't know how it clicked, but I started becoming a family guy.
The Holy Spirit.
The Holy Spirit. Yeah, the Holy Spirit. We have always said that if we were counseling someone that had our same situation, we would say 100% no, don't do it. That guy is going to do it again. Okay? But the Holy Spirit made it work in a particular way that we started climbing all the steps at the exact time where we needed to do them. If we had been together before, we would not have made it.
No.
If
Wow.
we would have been together later, we would have not made it. But we started challenging things at the right moment, and I started helping her with the anxiety attacks. So I took her to a psychiatrist. I took her to
Psychologist.
I took her to align her chakras. There were some
Everything we tried
angel
everything.
sessions, supporting sessions. So we did a lot of things. At the end of the day, she saw a Facebook post by a friend of ours from the salsa community, and she heard a worship song, and she didn't know at the moment what was worship or that it was a worship song. So she said, "Hey, it's beautiful." She simply invited her to her church, which is our church now, and she comes and tells me, "Rolando, I am going to go to church on Sunday," but she was having panic attacks. So I tell her, "Hey, you're not going alone, but you don't go to church anymore." Uh, okay, for you, I'm going to church.
He was afraid that I might crash or something if I had an anxiety attack, right?
So we come into church, and the first sermon she hears is the woman at the well,
Oh, wow.
the one that was not married, the one that had I don't know how many husbands, and she was saying, "It was me, and I'm all wrong, and I'm depressed." At the end of the sermon, she stands up and tells me, "I'm going to go talk to the pastor." I grew up a Baptist, and I knew that when church finishes, you go to your house and you continue your life as it was. So she immediately goes to the pastor.
If
And
I can touch the
if I can
garn,
touch
right?
So there we go. And at that time we started a process with Jesus. So I was out of church for over 9 years.
Wow.
I always said I wanted I want to marry a Christian. I want to marry a Christian. I didn't want to marry any Christians at the exact moment that we were together. I was really happy living the way I was living. At the end of the day, God used our anxiety to bring me back
Wow.
to Him.
Yeah. So, I fell in love with Jesus, but like a crazy lady, a crazy lady. So, I started putting him first. So I told Rolando, okay, we're gonna marry. So the process kept going, right? And one day I told them, if you're not able to be my pastor, I won't marry you because I love Jesus more than you.
Wait, she didn't just told me. She told me like 1 month before the wedding.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, if you are not going to be my pastor, it's over. And I
Wow.
was like, what? We're just going to get married.
No, we won't because I love Jesus more than
I
you.
love you more than you.
But it comes to the story. We're gonna get a point, right?
We're going to get
So
That's okay.
he
Take
had
your
that
time.
precedent. It's okay. Okay. So he
Take your
had that
time.
precedent that I wasn't living a religious life. I was so in love with him because he told me like in his hands now I could be a new creature. So I took it to my heart and I never bowed my hand again. I never walked like a sinner. I never walked again like a loser. Like like it really transformed me. So I made a vow to Jesus, to the Lord, and I said, for me, from now on, everything that comes in your word is true. I will never question it, and I will live as if it's true, even if I don't understand it correctly. If you want, you can reveal the whole truth through your Holy Spirit. But I'll obey um, regarding what I understand in the moment, and I will keep pressuring, right? So when I found out that he was unfaithful, but was because he asked me to look into something in the iPad for Deco, for my kid that is now our kid. So I was searching what he was telling me on the phone, and then I saw and we were 6 months into our marriage, okay? And I was pregnant, and I didn't know. So when I looked for that, it came a conversation that was so risky. I don't know the word in English. So saucy that I thought it was between him and I, right? So when I saw something about Los Cabos, and I was like, we've never been in Los Cabos. I never saw it coming. Okay. So when I saw the date, it was 4 days before we started our relationship, and my world crashed. But I didn't say anything until he came home, and I just showed it to him, and he came to his knees and he started like begging me. He became all white because he was so worried, and I wanted to burn everything down, everything down. But the Holy Spirit told me, "Hey, you made a vow to me. You made a vow to me." So I told him, "Just give me a little space. Let me just go and pray and calm myself down because I'm really spicy." Okay. So it was hard for me. So when I was praying, the Holy Spirit told me something. He said, because I told him, "Why do you want me to forgive him if he's a cheater?" And he said, "Oh, okay. So being a cheater is worse than being depressive."
Wow.
Because when I was depressed and I wasn't the woman he met, and I cooked so good in those months, I was the worst chef ever. He never complained. He never looked down on me. He never said, when is this going to be over? He never, like, his love never wavered, right? So the Holy Spirit was saying, like, hey, he has some proclivities too. And he said something so special to me. He said, he's not the same man that cheated on you.
Wow.
Because Rolando had walked all that, like a different man. So I was like, okay, and I questioned myself, if I do this, if I divorce him, won't be because that's the best option. Will be just because I'm so mad, right? And now because I don't belong to myself anymore. I belong to Jesus. Now I cannot make just decisions just because I want to. So I remember the same Bible verse that I told you, like, don't give any space for the devil. So I go back to Rolando and I told him, I forgive you. I will never bring this back because I won't make a hell out of your life or mine. I will sleep next to you as I always do because I place like my foot on top of his hip, and I turn and I like to smell him. But I will do this in full obedience and discipline. What I don't know what's going to happen is how we will deal with the aftermath. But I forgive you with all my heart, and I will never bring this back to you. He couldn't believe it. He was like, oh, really? So I don't have to do anything? And I was like, no, because forgiveness is not something that happens in the other side. It has to happen inside of me. The reconnection, that's something different, right? But like the forgiveness was something that I just I knew I had to do it. So pretty much that was it. And I never bring it to his memory anymore.
No, I have always said that Saraí, it's different kind of woman because her yes is a yes and her no is a no. So when she actually said that I will never bring it up again, she had never brought it up again
Wow.
anytime. One of the most common things that we see in marriages that have gone through this is that they use it as a tool.
See, to hurt each other.
They use it as a tool to hurt. They use it as a tool to get payback.
Mm-hmm.
She never requested payback.
Wow.
So it's really difficult because it's a process where both spouses have to put in a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What as an infidel, I don't know if that's a word. I had to raise my hands and say, "Hey, I have no privacy anymore."
Uh-huh.
Oh, he switched so much. I didn't tell him, but he changed so many things.
Yeah, for example,
That's
when
what
we
I was
started
going to
living
ask
together,
you. How you began to, because forgiveness is one step, but then there's a breach of trust. So what are the steps that you took to start mending and healing? And one,
Mm-hmm.
you said
yeah,
you gave up your privacy. There's no more privacy for a while. Everything has to be an open book for her. What else? What other
Mm-hmm.
things did you two have to do in order to start healing
Okay,
and mending?
he prepared prior to this because he knew what he did. So when we were dating,
mhm,
he closed all his social media and he was open to me about this. He said, "I'm going to close this because my past will come for me. And what we have is so good that
I don't want to risk it.
I
I
don't
don't
want
want to
any
risk it.
temptations." And he was really clear about that, like saying that his Achilles heel was being a player, right? So he said like he closed it. So I was like, "I never asked you to." And he was like, "No, but I don't trust myself yet. I have to keep walking," right? So he did that. That's one of the reasons I didn't divorce him, because he wasn't a cheater anymore. He changed, right? So it's not the case for everyone.
One moment. The actual thing is, I was not a player anymore. I was not out hunting. I was not out looking for women on Instagram. Uh, I I had no girlfriends. Like a friend that is a girl. I I didn't get anything like that at all. Um, the little friends I had, like more co-workers. So I was not out hunting anymore.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
That's the first thing that really changed when we started living together. When I told you that it clicked, I
mm-hmm,
said, "Hey, what I have here, it looks really, really good. I don't know where it's going to get us, but right now it is the best I have ever had in all my life.
mm-hmm,
I don't want to I don't want to lose her. I don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose Deco. So I'm not gonna risk it."
mm-hmm.
So I burned the bridges, I burned the ships, and I said, "Okay, it's that way. So let's start walking."
See, so he prepared prior. After that, um, I think he started like when he worked at home, he will put his computer in the open. He wouldn't use like a private room or anything. All our phones were linked, right? Deco had access to everything. So I think we cast a light on it, right? Like he admitted he had a problem with that prior. So he said like everything is in the open. So he didn't fight for anything. I didn't ask him to do changes because I'm really, how can you say, astuta?
Mm, astute.
Astute? Is that a word?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. One thing I never tell. I always tell my counselees, right? It's don't tell people what you expect from them.
Mm,
Let them walk, and based on how they walk, then you will make decisions on how close, right? So I let him act because I forgave him, but I wasn't willing to live uh on a life of infidelity, right? So I let him walk, and he was making decisions, right? And I thought everything was fine, but after 6 years, he got a call from a job training for him to become a manager in his IT job, right? I didn't know this, but I was working out, like walking, and the Holy Spirit told me, go back home and ask your husband what just happened. So I just went back. I turned around and I came home and I asked him, honey, what just happened? He was like, nothing. And I was like, the Holy Spirit told me. And he, like, this is normal for us. Like, when I tell them the Holy Spirit told me, he knows it's for sure, right?
Uh-huh.
So he said, well, I just had a call. And I was like, about what? And he said, oh, nothing, a training for being a manager. And I was like, why didn't you took it? Because it was in COVID, right? And we just lost a big bonus in his job because of everything that happened. We really needed the money. And he said, because I know how nervous you get when I go out or when I'm not with you.
Yeah. When I'm out of city, when I'm by myself.
And I was like, what? But I never told you not to do something. Or he said, no, your whole face changes or you start shivering and you don't even notice.
Mm.
So that's the aftermath of infidelity, because before I was never, like thinking or worrying. And then I told the Holy Spirit, tell me, show me, where do I do this? And it brought, like, he brought me an image that whenever I'm going down the stairs to where he's working, I make a lot of noise. So
Yeah.
he would know that I'm coming, because I don't want to face with that PTSD again. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I remember a Bible verse that says that do not become slaves now to people, because Jesus freed you. So I told him, you know what? This will stop. This will stop. I will not be bound to a fear. I will not be bound to the past. I didn't know you felt like this. And I said, like, why you never said something? And he said, because I deserved it. And I knew it
Right.
was the guilt. If the guilt is not coming from God, right? So I said, no. I told you I wouldn't punish you. I've never did it. If I did it, I never did it consciously. And I love that you have that heart for me, but we won't be bound, because maybe we lost a lot of opportunities to switch our our life economically, right? Because he said no to so many opportunities because he was paying a fee that I wasn't asking him to pay.
Wow.
So there we decided that anything from now on, everything we feel, everything we think, any temptation we may have, we will speak about that maturely, like two adults, right? So that's what we did for a long time, and that's what we still do.
That's really powerful. I often say, because my coaching area is communication, and I often
Mhm.
tell people, especially people who follow Christ, is that the things that aren't said are they're blank spaces. And where there are blank spaces, there can be confusion. And where there's confusion,
Mhm.
there's the enemy. So
Yeah.
when you do this really powerful thing of saying, no matter what we're thinking, no matter what we're feeling, no matter how difficult it may be, we're going to say it. We're going to speak it out loud so that it's out there and we can deal with the truth and we can decide what to do with it. And it's not unclear, it's very direct
Mhm.
and focused. That's so powerful. And it takes a lot of strength to do that and a lot of wisdom to do that. So,
Mhm.
what have you learned? I'll ask both of you individually. What have you learned about yourselves because of this? And how has this benefited your marriage together?
You want to start?
No, you start.
Okay. Um, I learned that one thing is that everything God will use it for the good.
Uh-huh.
That's one thing. And also a lot of resilience, because it's so long, right? But pretty much I I recognized I gave up on myself before many times. And this one time that I had something really not good, extraordinary, I wouldn't give it up just because I'm hurt or because of a bump in the road. So I determined something there's a poet in Latin America, um, a sonnet. He has a sonnet, right? And it says like, what the pretty much this, what the tree has, what you can see the flowers in that tree, it comes from what it has underneath,
Yeah.
from what it's buried, right? So I became so determined to have beauty for ashes.
Beautiful ashes.
Beauty for ashes.
Grapes into gardens.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I learned about myself is that I was so superficial,
Hmm.
and before Jesus and after Jesus, I understood that my love is not frail. I don't run when things go, you know, other ways that I would prefer, and that if I let him transform me through the pain, I made a vow to him again that whatever he made or transformed out of it, I will use it to help other people. So I think that's one of the things that I understood about myself too.
Okay. From my side, I think this was a gift from God because I learned it before I needed it.
Hmm.
Ay, qué bonito.
So
Sí.
good.
So
Ujú.
the thing I needed to learn about this process is how to be a man. I had to learn how to be a man. One one time, our pastor here in Mexico spoke about 4 pillars of being a man. I had to learn how to be a protector. I had to learn how to be a provider. I had to learn how to be a promoter, like
Sí, sí,
promoting,
sí.
I
and I
like
had to
that
learn
one.
how to be a pastor. So we actually teach this, and protection is first the first pillar of the needs of the woman. She needs to be protected physically, she needs to be protected financially, she needs to be protected sexually, she needs to be protected emotionally, and she needs to be protected spiritually.
Ujú.
So it's a lot of work being a man.
It
Pretty
sounds
much.
like it to be a good one.
Yes, a
Yeah,
good one.
so I started that journey before I even needed it.
Mm.
Before the actual storm came to happen. So what that journey did to me and what that journey did to Sarai, it was that it created columns. It created a column for me as a protector. It created a column for me as a provider. That little talk about I'm not going to marry you if you do not go to church and if you do
No,
not
if
follow
you do not have
if
a
you do
deep
not have a deep
relationship with
no,
Jesus,
not going to church, deep relationship
I
with
wouldn't settle
Jesus.
for going to church.
My my wife spends I don't know, at least 15 hours a week hearing YouTube podcasts about 80% spiritual stuff. Okay, so being able to teach her and being able to be her pastor is a challenge. So I had to really step up my game in my relationship with God in order to be a pastor. But the also the promoter, I this is very funny. We've been married. Short story. We've been married for over 12 years, 11 years.
11 years. Sí.
Well, the first 10 years of the marriage, our finances were trash. Okay. I'm an IT engineer, and you would say, hey, IT engineers earn a good amount of money. I did earn a good amount of money. Either way, they were trash. We always, like, I increased my salary at least 3 times, doubled it. at least 3 times in those 10 years, and it was not enough. We were selling enchiladas. We were selling pozole. We were selling
Tamales.
menudo. We were selling tamales from Veracruz. They were really good. Like in a banana
No, I
leaf,
won't cook anymore.
like
No.
in a banana leaf. Uh,
Sign me up.
we were we were selling brownies. We were selling a lot of stuff. She's an amazing cook. But it never hit. It was such amazing food and it never hit. But in my mind, I always had this idea, okay, what tools does my wife have? And how can I help her develop them? And I said, hey, she's an amazing cook. We should be selling. And I always thought we would have a YouTube channel for cooking.
I never wanted to.
She never wanted to. And at the end of the day, we created the channel about helping people from those times she had anxiety. We created the channel for helping people going through infidelity. But it was always on my mind. How can I promote my wife? It's not about she not having any financial needs. You can see rich people that are still like unhappy,
Mm.
Hmm.
and they have all the money they want, and their wives leave them. Will Smith?
Shh, don't say that.
Well,
Maybe they know. No.
yeah, but I don't know. I don't think Will
It's
Smith will
okay.
watch this. So
It's true.
anyway,
They will send it to Will Smith now.
at the end of the day, I started developing all of those columns. And because I had those columns, when the storm came crashing, my house was still standing.
Uy,
Wow.
chocolate.
So
I love
good.
that. Yeah.
I love that
So
too.
you actually, as a man, you have to develop a life that is storm proof. And
So
that's
good.
that's what I learned.
That was
I
so good.
love that. You know, my pastor here in Los Estados Unidos says,
See?
he always says, you can't wait until the rain comes before you build an ark. And that really
Hmm.
reminds me of that, doing the things ahead of time to prepare yourself. I love those 4 pillars so much because what that says to me is balance. It is a balanced
Mm.
man because there's so much talk about manhood and masculinity and what makes a man and woman's place and all these things. And those 4 pillars are such a beautiful balance of not only pastoring, protecting, providing, leading, but also that promotion one is so beautiful. I want to elevate my wife. I want to push her forward. I want to celebrate the things that make her unique, her God-given design, and the things that will make her flourish in the earth.
Mm.
That piece is something that I think people don't hear often enough. And there's joy in promoting your spouse. I know that you are joyful in making sure that she flourishes in the areas that she's gifted and the areas that she enjoys. So that's just beautiful to me. I thank you for sharing that because that's a really neat perspective that I think a lot of people need to hear. That it's not just about man as boss, but it's man as a balanced man who loves his wife and who wants to use all the things that he has within him to make sure that the relationship prospers, but also that she prospers and flourishes too. So that's beautiful to me. Um,
Mm.
so now you two, I see you often on social media. I told you I watch and pick every third word in Spanish and put it together to make it make sense. But now you are very active helping other people, like you said, who have gone through similar experiences. Tell me about the origins of that. How did that start for you? And what does it look like today? How many couples are you helping? In what ways do you serve them? What does that look like?
Wow.
That one deserves another podcast.
We'll do another one on that one. Just give me
The producer.
the trailer.
Okay. Okay, so short. When I told Jesus that my whole, like, in that vow I gave him, I also told him that if he took me out from that anxiety, my whole life will be for him.
Mhm.
And I'm a person that if I give you my word, I will for sure keep it, right? So the day that I was delivered from that, I told him, okay, my mind is clear. I'm here. I'm yours. What do you want me to do? So I will start all my days by saying, my life is yours. My mind is yours. My hands are yours. Bring the people you want me to talk to, and I'll just follow your lead, right? So since I was 12 years old, people will come to me asking for advice. Like, it was normal for me. But I gave advice out of what I knew. But now with Jesus, and with these amazing principles that we can find in the Bible, I would start, like, he will send me the women, right? And I will go and have coffee with them for 8 hours. I didn't know how to manage my time or the gifts that he would give me, right? Because I was so, PD always said, like, you have to help the person that you used to be, right?
Mhm.
So I was so committed to that's how it started. I wouldn't charge because I felt guilty charging, because it was something that God was giving me. So the years passed. That's something I kept doing, right? Many women through the years. And then one day at church, Carlos preached that the people were hurting because those that have an answer will remain silent. And Rolando had, like, I don't know, maybe a year saying, honey, I think now you should open this in social media and help people there. And I was like, no one's gonna want to listen to me. Like, I'm so private. No, I don't want that. And when Carlos said that, it was Rolando's birthday 4 years ago almost. And I told him, okay, for your birthday, open TikTok here. I'll start.
She was ashamed of TikTok.
Because all the girls were just dancing, right? So I felt like it was weird, but I understood that we had to do something, and I felt convicted in my spirit. So I told them, let's start. In how many people we are helping, I have no idea. We have 2.5 million people following us in our social media.
Wow.
But a lot of people, like, I don't know, Cuba, and they just got a little bit of signal, right? And they said, Sarahi, we got your information and this curse you send us, and now we're using these in our ministry back in Cuba. Or
Wow.
we work with people in China, in Emiratos Árabes,
In Africa.
Africa, Australia, Europe. Like, if I explained it to you as I understand it, I think my head cannot wrap around everything that God has allowed us to do. I don't know the numbers, but I know it's around all the world,
Yeah.
and it's just because of Him. Like, all wisdom, everything that we know comes from really Bible principles that we applied in a day-to-day life, and that's how we do it.
That's amazing. And what would have happened if you didn't give your yes on that birthday? There's so many people that would not have been helped. And so it's a blessing. What's
Yeah.
really the blessing is that something that could have taken your marriage out and that was designed to really has turned into a gift that has helped the planet. That is so powerful. That is really powerful and inspiring. I think it gives people hope to not just throw in the towel so quickly. And like you
Yeah.
said, slow down, process things, get your emotions, feel all your emotions, but then slow down and process it logically and spiritually. What will we do
Mm-hmm.
here? And I'm not going to give all the tips because they're coming in my head as you all are teaching me. But as we wrap up, I want you to just share because we have to have another conversation. Just like Rolando
Yes.
said, we got more to talk about. But as we close, can you give maybe 3 to 5 steps that someone should take if they are facing maybe not even just infidelity, but any major challenge in their marriage? What should they do before they just decide to cut and run?
Mm. I think one thing is, number one is stop lying to yourself, because we immediately want to be the good one in the story and make the other one the bad one,
Mm,
right?
wow.
Mm-hmm. So the first one would be, let's lay it down, right, and be honest about my part on everything.
If you have a trash marriage, you both put trash on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I think the second one would be, this is going to be hard, okay, but the Holy Spirit gave this to me short short time ago. I will ask myself this: am I living the life that Jesus paid for me on the cross? Meaning, not if I'm a Christian, not if I'm, like morally better than before, like if I'm truly living to the whole potential he gave me. And if the answer is no, then you shouldn't give up. Why? Because you've never presented whole to that relationship. So you cannot give up if you haven't fight it, right? So that would be the second question for me. Like, what can I do better if I'm living, fully the life Jesus paid for me? And the third one will be kind of funny, but it's like, do I really think my life is this disposable? Because people give up on themselves blaming the other one, but it's really because you don't think you're that special.
Wow.
So I don't have to fight for something that it's just, you know what I mean? And because we let our life go, our bodies go, our minds go, our habits go, then we don't feel like we have something special to fight for. So the question would be, if I stay, what am I taking care of? What do I have in my hands that it's so important with him or with her that it's worth the fight? Because many times we give up because we think that there's nothing else like after that, right? Like, even when people take their own life, it's because they have no hope. But when you understand what you're fighting for and you take responsibility, and then also you look to honor Christ, right, what he did there in the cross, it's almost for sure that you won't be able to live, because first you have to put in the work that you've never did, because most of the people just mistake all this sacrifice and all this being like a rock for the other person with putting in the work.
Mm.
And it's not the same thing. So you have to be honest, be humble, be meek, and put in the work before you decide to go. That's what I will say. Tú? That's
I don't have anything to add.
yes.
That's excellent. Rolando Sarai, thank you so much for being
Oh,
here on
thank
Good Talk with Tiffany Santana. I love that you two have made me international. But
you.
you two are such a blessing to me. I know that you will be a blessing to others, and I can't wait for our next conversation because I definitely want you two to come back for another episode. But thank you so much for your love for
Thank
each
you.
other and your love for the world and how you are helping others to flourish in their marriages. So I love you and thank you for being here.
We love you
Love you
too.
too, Tiff.
Thank you. Thank you for having us, and we can come anytime you want.
All right. I'll see you then. I'm going to hold you to it. Take
Okay,
care.
for sure. We love you.
Love you.
Adios.
Adios.